Jacob Winograd said, I love the LP Mises Caucus. If I could improve one thing, it would be to make the culture a little more forgiving and loving towards our enemies or people in the movement who are different from us, as @comic Dave Smith once said, any revolution that is not based on love will fail. 1/X.
Justin O'Donnell said, I would encourage the decentralized revolution to stop trying to centralize management in a top-down tyrannical manner.
There's a need for planning and coordination. The more people are acting in good faith towards the same goals and willing to be good teammates, the less hands-on leadership has to be.
I disagree that LPMC leadership demanding the firing of LPNH volunteers and trying to micromanage affiliates and threatening another takeover is acting in good faith. But I also disagree with the premise that management is needed. Read Swarmwise.
I think LPNH leadership repeatedly had demonstrated an unwillingness to be good teammates. That doesn't mean national leadership handled their response perfectly, but I think your characterization is inaccurate.
LPNH isn't willing to take marching orders from national, whether Prague, Mises, or anyone else. A decentralized movement would harness that local motivation and allow them to self-direct, instead of trying to micromanage messaging and action.
You are presenting a false dichotomy. It's not marching orders when all of your friends and allies have repeatedly asked you to consider how your actions impact the rest of us, and you all just say whatever fuck you and then expect us to just accept that.
Yes, we expect others to accept the fact that we do not, and will not care, about repercussions outside of NH, as we spent too long apologizing locally for the poor representation other affiliates gave us here in NH, so we were forced to be loud enough to overcome it.
This tweet was deleted by the tweet author. Learn more.
And that attitude is precisely why they won't be.
You're confusing cooperation with tyranny.
There doesn't need to be cooperation. People just need to be empowered and enabled to act independently in a decentralized manner. The reason we're seeing success in NH is that we have a real decentralized revolution, with dozens of different groups, and hundreds of missions. We have zero top-down management, zero intergroup organization, and a focus on work instead of management. People are told to do what they feel is worth doing, and nobody is ever told to stop. As a result, every year we add new groups to the roster of those fighting for liberty.
Then do all that with the FSP, but the MC and LP are intrinsically institutions of social cooperation and teamwork, and you're basically a tantruming child who wants to be on the team but not play with anyone.
Oh, you've mistaken me. I don't want to be on the team. I have no leadership position in LPNH, I never have, although people assume otherwise. I've taken on specific roles for activist projects, and my continued involvement is contingent on the rejection of nationals' orders. In fact, of all the work I do, and organizations I'm involved with in NH, LPNH is my least involved.
Then I don't care, but you were bitching about the MC and LP in relation to your state, and your portrayal of facts and reality is wrong.
When I accused Dave Smith of it, he didn't deny making the
Dave Smith said this is BS and you know it. I said you were lying about what happened and it's shitty to do it publicly. I started the meeting by explicitly saying I have no power over NH and I'm not in a position to make demands. They disagreed. Jeremy Kaufman @Coverdale read, am I lying?
Reed Coverdale said, I can't read all this now, but I'll say I was never upset about how the Zoom meeting we had went, it was other variables. And I also don't really care anymore. LPNH is Mises friendly, but we're not the Mises Caucus. I support Dave and the MC but also think they can be wrong.
Okay Reed, maybe you could just read my tweet and answer the very simple question. Am I lying, or did I start the meeting by saying I have no authority over you and I can't make demands? Because that's the opposite of what Justin, who wasn't there, has been claiming for months.
You did. But I don't think anyone who was on that Zoom call was upset about how it went. I thought that was the best communication that took place. I'm not sure what the "they disagreed" part means. I think we cared about your opinion but agreed that you don't have the authority.
Well, what was communicated to LPNH membership, not by Reed, was that there were demands to fire Reed and Eric from the comms team. I never claimed it was, which is the crazy part. I made complaints about the demand being made, and Dave accused me of misrepresenting and leaking a private conversation and has insisted it was on the Zoom call he keeps referencing. I was under the impression it was Heisa, not Dave, who made the demands, but Dave's defensiveness over it has led me to believe that he condoned or supported it, as such, since he was so invested in it as an attack on him. In fact, I attempted to clarify this with @comic Dave Smith privately, and he ignored the message and never responded. And then told others, or at least implied to them in Vegas, that I never attempted to reach out privately. Justin included a screenshot of a DM he sent to Dave which said, for what it's worth, I'm not talking about any conversation you were involved in, but the call the night prior to your Zoom with Angela Reed Nolan and company, where Heisa called the LPNHEC to explicitly demand Reed be removed. And ranted about how it was affecting donors and hurting your campaign. Nobody felt compelled to keep that a secret, and there's been a spot taste for the caucus in the state party since. There were jokes of issuing a resolution disaffiliating from LPMC and declaring that Michael Heisa is rational and pragmatic.
This was not on the Zoom call.
Wait, I thought you accused me of making demands and I never denied it. 'Cause that was your story 5 minutes ago. You messaged me and I didn't respond, join the club. I also never told anyone that you didn't reach out to me. You just run with bullshit.
No, I made an accusation about LPMC leadership making demands, and you didn't deny, and instead got defensive and accused me of leaking a private conversation. And it was at Liberty Lockpod who told me you implied in Vegas that I never reached out privately.
When I accused Dave Smith of it, he didn't deny making the demands you 5 tweets ago. You can't even keep up with your lies from an hour ago. I accused you of lying about private conversation because you did. Enough of this nonsense, goodbye.
Well, I'm sorry if I confuse you for leadership when you own their actions. But the fact is, I tried to reach out to you privately months ago to clear up the miscommunication, but you ignored the attempts and told Clint that I did no such thing. That's been the crux of my anger. Justin then included the screenshot of his message to Dave and a screenshot of a message from Clint that said, "Sure, I just wanted to make sure we are doing our best to communicate our concerns privately before blasting each other publicly. I should have practiced what I preached and DM'd you. My bad. I talked to Dave in Vegas and he made it sound like you hadn't done so."
As I already said, I didn't tell Clint that. I did not respond to you and never will again. Stay angry.
So you're calling at Liberty Lockpod a liar as well?
Jacob then said much later, "At LPNH I'm sorry, I needed a Snickers bar. I'm not me when I'm hungry. I love what you do. I just want the Liberty movement to fight less and collaborate more. But, after stating I wanted that, I got goaded into fighting. I need to do better at practicing what I preach. Thanks for watching. Make sure to go to ap4libertyshop.com and use promo code ADAM for 5% off.